of the agenda. So who is moving for the adoption of the agenda? We have about some items to be discussed there.
I think
The first one, open.
I think Bukola has done that now.
Okay. Who seconded it?
Seconded by me.
Who seconded it, please?
Tunde Banure.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Mr. Tunde Banure. So Booking first move for the adoption and is being seconded by the Mr. Tunde Banure. On the agenda, we have the following item: introduction of the Excos with their portfolio. Kindly introduce yourself and your portfolio, please.
Hello, Ebenezer.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, Ebenezer. Point of
Can you hear
correction,
me?
I'm not the one that moved
Bookie, I
it.
can hear
It
you.
was.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I think it was Rebecca that moved the motion.
Okay.
It's not me. Yeah, it's not me. It's Rebecca. It's Rebecca.
Okay, it's Rebecca. Okay.
It is exactly
Thank you very much.
Rebecca.
The person that
is Mrs. Agbi.
and then seconded by Mr. Tunde Banure. So no problem. Thank you very much. So the next thing is
Only
the
Madam Agbi,
introduction.
Madam Agbi, it's Madam Agbi that moved it, not Rebecca.
Hello, I can hear you.
Let's get it right, though.
Very well.
Hello.
This second whatever we can capture it very well.
Hello. Can you hear me, please?
Yes.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
We can hear you.
Hello.
I think
Hello, we can hear you. Hello, we can hear you.
We've lost the coordinator. I think his connection is probably gone down.
Check. That one will delay you.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening,
Good
sirs
evening,
and
sirs
man.
and man.
I think
I
the
think the
coordinator's
coordinator's
network is not
network is
working
not
well.
working well.
Should
Should
we do
we
the
do the
introduction
introduction
because
because
of time?
of time?
Yes, let's start the introduction. Let's start introducing ourselves.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, Tunde
Yeah,
Banura
Tunde
is my
Banura is
name.
my name.
I'm the
I'm
public
the
relation
public
officer.
relation officer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pa 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 pa. I'm clapping for you today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. My name is Bukola Akitude. I'm the financial secretary. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
You're welcome.
I'm Rosemary
I'm Rosemary
Maduike.
Maduike.
I'm
I'm
the
the
deputy
deputy
coordinator, I think.
coordinator, I think.
No.
Happy New Year
Happy
to
New
you
Year to
also,
you,
Mama.
Mama.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Agbi,
And
General
Agbi,
Secretary.
General Secretary.
My name is
My name
Joy.
is John.
The
The
Assistant
assistant
Financial
commercial
Secretary.
secretary.
Happy New Year
Happy
to you
New Year
all.
to you.
This is
This is
Rebecca
Rebecca
Emile,
Emile,
Assistant Welfare
assistant
Officer.
welfare officer.
Happy New Year to
Happy New
you
Year to
and
you and the
prosperous positive
positive
day.
day.
We are very
You are
welcome.
very
Thank you,
welcome.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Mama.
Mama.
I
I
think
think
what's her name?
what's her name?
Mr. Maiwa is
Mr.
trying to
Maiwa is trying to
connect, but
connect,
without the
but without the
coordinator,
coordinator,
we'll be able
we'll be
to
able to
connect him.
connect him.
As
Mm.
Joy introduced herself, it still remains Joy to introduce herself.
I think I
I
just
think I
did. I said
just
my
did. I
name is
said my name
Joy.
is George.
Ronke Oyelade.
Joy should be Ronke.
Yes,
Has she
Ronke
introduced
Yes,
Oyelade.
herself?
okay.
I
Has she
just did.
introduced
I
I'm
herself?
just
doing
did.
it
I'm
now.
doing it now.
Oh yeah, do. Introduce yourself now.
Yeah, my name
Yeah,
is
my name is
Ronke
Ronke
Oyelade.
Oyelade.
Okay.
I'm
I'm
Assistant
assistant
Financial
financial
Secretary.
secretary.
Okay.
Happy New
Thank
Year
Happy
to
New
you
Year to
all.
you all.
All right. Thank you. Same to you. Ronke, you are just woken up, Abby.
Yes, I think
Yes,
so.
I think
Yes.
so, yes.
You've not finished booting. You still need to boot very well. Well,
Thank you.
it's well.
Okay, according
Okay,
to
according
the
to
agenda,
the agenda,
Mm.
um,
um,
we'll wait for the
we'll wait
coordinator
for the coordinator
for his
for
remark.
his remark.
But for
But
the
then
next
for the
one, he
next
said
one, he said
matter for the
matter
day.
for the day.
I personally
I
don't have
personally don't
detail
have
of that.
detail of that.
Um,
Um,
okay.
okay.
So I think we
So
need
I think we
to
need to
work with what we
work
have
with what we
here.
have here.
Um,
Um,
could we just
could we
join
just
to
join
the
to the
account side of
account
it,
side of
please?
it,
It said
please? It said
association
association
account.
account.
I don't know if you
I
have
don't know
any
if you have any
information about
information about
any updates.
any updates.
Okay. What the latest I know about the account is that Ola Awe has helped us to get the new account has been opened. So they have moved all the money that is in the old one to the new one. So we still need to change the signatory of the account. So that is all what I know about the account for now. So Ebenezer is in the position to to talk more about it.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
very much.
We have to
We
wait
have
on
to
him
wait on
because
him
the last
because
thing
the
he
last thing
said
he said
to me
to me
was
was
he wanted
he
to meet
wanted
with
to meet
Awe,
with Awe,
but he
but
hasn't been
he
able
hasn't
to.
been able to.
So I
So I
personally don't have
personally
any
don't have
updates
any updates
as well,
as well,
unfortunately.
unfortunately.
So we'll put all
So we'll
this thing
put all
like
this thing
by the
like by
side.
the side.
The next
The
thing
next thing
is a
is a
reunion
reunion
program.
program.
But before we
But
go there,
before we
can
go
I
there,
just
can I just
ask the house
ask the house
about our
about our
monthly or yearly
monthly or yearly
contribution? Do we
contribution?
have
Do
any
we have any
due
due
that we are
that
supposed
we
to
are
pay
supposed to pay
as
as
members?
members?
Sirs or no?
Sirs or no?
Any the bills that we are supposed to pay is just our annual, and we have stopped it since what are we are in 2023 now. There was nobody that paid for 2002. I think the last stopped at 2001.
Hello,
So
can you hear me
unless
now?
we start all over again. Yes, we can hear you now.
Sorry for
Welcome
the.
back. Oh.
Welcome back. Oh.
Thank you very much,
Thank
my
you very
sister.
much,
God
my
bless
sister.
you.
God bless you.
Wow,
Why
Wow.
am
this
I trying
network
to
Why
copy
is
trying to
you?
unforgivable.
copy?
Ebenezer,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we have introduced ourselves, so you two, you need to introduce yourself, and Mayowa too needs to introduce yourself. You will
Okay.
introduce yourself and tell us your position.
Okay. As my
Then
hour
Okay.
coming.
Mayowa is there, abi? Is Mayowa here? No,
No,
he's
no,
not
it's
here.
not.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
I thought it's Mayowa is here.
Maybe you should try
Maybe you
again.
should try again.
Who, Mayowa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me call him.
Please do.
Please do.
My name is
My
Ajayi
name is
Ebenezer.
Ajayi Ebenezer.
So I'm
So I'm
the
the
coordinator
coordinator.
for the 2022 to 2024 Exco. Thank you. So while we're waiting for Mr. Dr. Maiwa to join us, I think we should just continue. We're on the item number 4 now, and his remark. Good evening, everybody. Once more,
Once more,
I want
I want
to say
to
thank
say
Ebenezer,
thank
you.
you.
Ebenezer, we've
We've
started.
started.
We've
We've
started.
started.
So,
So,
um,
um,
we've
we've
started.
started.
I don't know
I don't
where
know
we
where
are
we
now
are
because
now. Because
as with
as
men,
with
we
men,
to
we
tell
to
us
tell
where
us
we
where
are.
we
Okay,
are. Okay.
Roger, we are
Roger, we
in
are
item number
item
4.
number 4.
You still need to make
Can
your
you hear
remark
me?
now.
Can you hear me?
That's fine.
That's fine.
That's fine.
That's
Yes.
fine.
That's what I want to
That's what
do
I want
now.
to do now.
That's what I want to
That's
do
what I want
now.
to do now.
By Ronke
Like
explaining
Ronke is
that I
saying
didn't
that
know
we
where we are
know
now.
where we are now.
Mayowa has joined. He can introduce himself.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Mr.
Okay,
Mayo,
Mr.
Dr.
Mayo,
Mayo, can
Dr.
you
Mayo,
kindly
can you
introduce
kindly
yourself
introduce
with your
yourself with
portfolio?
your portfolio?
Hello, good evening,
Hello, good
everybody.
evening, everybody.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Compliment of the
Compliment
season
of the
and
season
Happy New
and
Year again.
Happy New Year again.
So, Ogdele
So,
Maiwa is my
Obdel
name.
Mayo is my name.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
I think
sir.
that's all for now.
That's all for now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your name and your
Your name and your
portfolio.
portfolio. Say we will leave it.
So,
Maybe I will have to
maybe
go
I
and
have to
check.
go and check. Oh,
Check
forget.
your WhatsApp.
Check your WhatsApp.
You are the welfare officer now.
Check your WhatsApp.
Mayowa.
I beg forgive me. I have plenty
Forgive me, I have
portfolio
plenty
nowadays.
portfolio
So
nowadays. So
I think you are the welfare.
he's a
Is
welfare
the
man.
welfare one.
You are the welfare.
Okay, thank you
Okay,
very
thank you
much.
very much.
Let's
Let's
quickly go
quickly go
to
to
item number
item number
4.
4.
I
I
want to
want to
say
say
good
good
evening
evening
once
once
again,
again,
everybody,
everybody,
and
and
not
all the
to
people are daily
ideally
observed.
observe.
I
I
want
want
to
to
thank
thank
each and every
each
one
and
of
every one
us
of
for
us
making
for making
ourselves
ourselves
available
available
tonight
tonight
to
to
serve in
serve in
this
this
2022 to 2024 Exco of NACOSS.
NACOSS.
So many
So
rain
many
has
learners
occurred,
have come,
and
and
we thank
we
God
thank God
we were able
we were able
to
to
come back
come back
again
again
uh,
uh,
and start
and start
rebuilding the
rebuilding the
association.
association.
The
The
association started
association
in
started in
2019,
2019,
and it
and
seems
it
it
seems
was
it
just
was
a
just
struggle,
Please,
a tug of war,
Ebenezer,
and
Ebenezer
things like that.
and things
I'm
like
very
that.
sorry
I'm very sorry
for the
for the
interruption. Kindly
interruption.
mute
Kindly mute
everybody so that we
everybody
can
so
hear
that we
you
can
Okay,
hear
clearly.
you.
okay. Please, can you kindly mute yourself? I think everybody is being muted. Everybody is muted. I think. Okay. Are we good to go now? I think we are good to go now. So, a lot of things has happened in the past, but we thank God we are able to pick ourselves again despite all odds. We started specifically in 2019, and the whole thing looked like a struggle. And to God be the glory, we were able to come up with electoral committee, which they were able to bring us in as the executive that we pioneer the association. What we had before it was a kind of an interim government or interim ESCO. So, and majority of part of the interim ESCO was made it to the new ESCO, and other people were also join us. We all know the story. We all know how everything goes, but we thank God we are able to be on our feet again and to start to rebuild the ESCO or to rebuild the association again. And I want to say I will need your maximum cooperation for us to be able to fly this time around. A lot of things has happened, just like I said earlier, and we need the ESCO to be together so that we can be able to lead our people very well. You can see what have happened, and I discovered that one of the things that we lack in the last ESCO is ability to carry others along. So I want to implore the newly constituted executive to be on ground, to be at alert and see how we can really move everybody and carry everybody along in this new dispensation. I know our capability, and I believe with the caliber of people we have in the ESCO this time around, sky will not be our limit. Sky is going to be our beginning with the help of God. So I want to appreciate each and every one of us, and I want us to know that this service is a call to service. We are not just an ESCO to dominate, we are an ESCO to serve. We are a servant, and I believe God will help us to serve our people well, and then we see a greater future ahead of us in this association. Once again, I want to say thank you very much for making yourself available for this meeting. And I want to say Happy New Year once more, once again, to each and every one of us. Thank you, and God bless you. So I think the next thing on our agenda is a matter for the days. Matter for the days, and the first thing we are going to discuss here is the last Exco's experience. I've already shared more light on that on my remarks because I happen to be the last the interim executive. I happen to be the set coordinator of the last interim executive that now become the how should I put it now, the new Exco. So I've shared a little experience about what we faced in the last dispensation. Some of the Excos are not really there for us. When we call meetings, they will not be available. We've seen a situation where the secretary of an association never attended any of the meetings, which really drag us back. It really drag us back a lot, and it really caused a lot of problem for us. We couldn't get minutes at the right time. Other people that are not Excos, they are the one that is taking minutes. A secretary will call for a meeting, but the secretary will never be there, and things like that. A lot of things were really affected us in the last dispensation. I think this is another time for us to rewrite the history again. It's just an opportunity for us to be on the East Coast table this time around to rewrite another history for this association. So I want to beg us and implore us that we should try our best to see that we see the best to come out of this association. They said, to whom much is given, much is expected. So the hope of people is on our neck. The hope of this association, anything that happen in this association is in our hands. So I want us to put our strength, to put our minds, to put our resources and everything that we know that it can help us to move this association forward. I want us to put it in place so that we can have a better association. And I want you to know, when we have a better association, then that shows we are a good leader. So please, I want us to really, I want us to work together as ESCO, because a tree can never make a forest. When you contribute a little, other people contribute a little, and then we can get a better result. So please, just like one of the courses we did in our school days system, under the system management, where we have subunits, when they comes together, they will be able to achieve our goals, will be able to achieve our objectives. So I want us to really work together as a team, and when we do that, we are going to achieve our aims and objectives. When you discover that something is lacking, please don't hesitate, come into the matter. Even when the person that's supposed to handle the matter is not on ground, you can quickly salvage the situation, and then nobody will see our lapses. So what we experienced in the last dissertation is never to be talked about. As a matter of fact, people started resigning, and then we have to find a way of getting all the HESCO being dissolved, and then call upon on the electoral committee to come up with election strategy, which brought us in as the HESCO of this great association. So the future of this association is in our hand, and I want us to really work together to achieve something good. Once again, I want to say thank you very much for your time, and I see you flying again. Thank you so much. God bless you. Um, any question, please, before we move forward again? Okay. Madam Rebecca, the floor is open, please.
Okay,
You can
thank
unmute
you.
yourself and talk.
Thank you, Honorable, our coordinator. Good evening once again. Thanks for what you have said so far. I think we all understand. But I want to ask, do we have a constitution binding us in this association? We have to have some constitution that is binding us and some rules and regulation. In this, even the meeting, like we have to have a number of time that all of us here as in the executive are permanent members. And for those of us that I know we attend other meetings, I do too, but I might not be saying it correctly, but I'm just trying to borrow from what I've learned from other meetings that we also do. We have like all of us are permanent members and we need to attend to the meetings, and any absentee that must be
We have
reasonable.
we have all those things, ma.
Yes, if you have them, fine. So if and then I have a number of time that the permanent members should attend being in the meeting, and after maybe for a 1 year duration or 6 months, 6 month duration. If the person is not attending, have not attended with no reason that is not reasonable excuse for not attending, then that will be either we are going to change the person, replace the person, or whatever. So, but the association must go on. So, I think if we have constitution, now that we are ESCOs, we need to also look at the constitution, read it maybe individually and digest it, so that we are being binded by it, because we are the one that's going to drive it to the larger house. And then the number of time that all members should attend meetings, because whatever we decide here is what we're going to take to the house. So I believe with that, and I know that all of us, we have the association in mind. We don't want it to fail. If it wants to fail, it's not in our own time that we are part of the executive. And I pray that the Lord will not allow it to fail in our hands in Jesus' name. So I'm just asking, since you say we have it, fine. I think we should start from there. Look at it. Let everybody know the rules and regulation, what's expected of you as ESCOs, and then we can always help ourselves. I know that it's not every time that everybody will be present, but we can take it from there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, my sister. I don't know if anybody has anything to say before I attend to his request rather. Hello, hello,
Go on, please, Ebenezer.
Mrs. Raji, you
But
have the floor.
there are some people raising their hand. Oh.
Oh, I only saw. Okay, Ronke, you have the floor. Ronke, you have the floor.
Thank you, Rebecca. So you fully said it well. So what I want to add is that we need to look at the time first. Uh, we need to discuss about the time of the meeting. So I'm not talking for myself or for everybody. We must agree on time that is convenient for. At least we can't get everyone to have the same time, but at
Okay,
least for 70 people, 70% of people to agree that this time is convenient for every one of us. Thank you.
okay. Thank you very much, my sister. Any other person again? Okay. Let me just quickly respond to what our sister just said, Sister Rebecca. Um, when we started this association, we drafted a constitution. I'm trying to also look for the constitution now so that I can make it available on our platform, the Exco platform. So we have a constitution and everything is being spelled out. It's been spelled out what our duties and some other things like that. But with the current ESCOs, we need to remodify the constitution to accommodate the new position, the new elected position that we have introduced. And so I'm going to share the constitution with us on our platform, and we'll look at it, and maybe we should just come up with a three-man committee, like a constitution review committee, to just review the existing committee, existing what do you call it, constitution, to enable us to work the way we should be able to work. Because what we had before is different from what is obtainable now, and so we need to incorporate all those things, the new position, into the constitution, and then from there we can take it over from there. Also, for the time of meeting, everything is also being spelled out. So I'm going to attach it to our WhatsApp now so that we can take a look about it, and then we can drop our, we can drop information on that. Our anything we think about the constitution, how do we want us to do it, how do you want to go about it, your addition and things like that. So I'm thinking we should just get a constitution review committee, about 3-member committee, or as we may deem fit in this meeting. So the floor is open. Let us discuss on that, and then from there we know what to do. Thank you very much. So the floor is open for any discussion on it. We have our constitution, but it requires review. How do we go about it so that we can start from there? Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hello, ma.
Okay, like you said,
Hello,
I think.
we are with you.
Hello, can you? Okay. So what I'm trying to say is, like you said, I think every one of us cannot be available to review that constitution. I think like the 3-man committee you suggested, I think that will be able, that will fly. So by the time they are done, they will bring it to the ESCO meeting, and everybody will look at the review that has been done, and then we'll pass it. That's my own take.
Okay, ma. So, okay, 3-man committee. Any other opinion, please? Hello, are we there? Any other opinion, please? Or we should go with that 3-man committee?
I think the 3-man committee is okay for me, so that they will have ample time to look at it and come up with any
Okay, thank you.
amendments.
Okay. So, since we want to adopt 3-man committee, who is supposed to be in that committee, please let's suggest them. We communicate to them.
Are they supposed to be from the ESCO?
If you want it to be from ESCO, fine. If you want it to be from the member, also fine. It depends on what we do here. Hello, are we still together?
Yes.
I think we
Hello.
should pick 2 people from the general. Hello? I think we should pick 2 people from the general body and then 1 person from the ESCO.
Okay. 2 people from the general house and then 1 person from the ESCO. So that's the suggestion from Ronke. So how are we going to do it? Who and who to pick?
Ebenezer, is my voice sounding like Ronke's own? This is Mrs. Agbi.
No, are you sure? No, Ronke talk before you.
Mrs. Agbi just concluded that she should
I mean,
pick two
just talk
people
now.
from
Now.
the
Yeah,
list.
yeah, now.
So maybe you should be looking at the
Maybe. Okay, okay.
uh,
Sorry, I thought it's Ronke. Maybe because I never eat. Sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead, please.
and please let's all participate. So it seems as if it's only three person. Let's participate because
Yes,
so that we
ma.
can save time. And this is mine again. You
Yeah.
know, I'm a woman. Oh, my kids are around me, so that we can save time and do everything on time. And
I'll finish on time. Yeah, you are right, ma. Mr. Tunde, are you there with us?
Yes, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Okay, okay. Somebody suggested that we should have two from members and then one person from the Exco. So, what are we? Who are we picking?
Yeah.
who is
Well,
our secretary here? Oh?
Mrs. Agbi is our secretary.
Ah, okay. Sorry, I wanted to say it fall on the table of the secretary
Second.
because it has to do with constitution.
hello.
Yes, now.
Okay. Hello,
But
sir.
I don't
The
know. It's
second.
Yeah. Okay.
open so that I don't conclude. It's open.
It's like Mr. Tunde want to say
Yeah, I
something.
want to say something. Um,
Okay.
I'm suggesting that why not pick three people from the executive? Because in order not to waste time, if we are waiting for from the general platform, maybe it's going to take some times and to avoid time wasting, just pick three people from here. Review what we want to review and send it to the general platform if there's any addition or omission or something like that.
Okay.
Because waiting for the general platform again, selecting from there, I don't know. It all depends.
Okay. Thank you very much. You are right because the former constitution, even the okay, Mr. Dr. Mayowa raised up his hand. So let me give him floor then before I conclude. Okay, sir. You have the floor.
I think it's the right thing to do, as in to carry the general house along on the constitution review. Constitution review is not from my own from my experience. It's not a mere activities, and moreover, the constitution is not. It also bind on us as members. So doing it with us, in fact, the normal way to do constitution review is to have a separate body apart from ESCO. And just like what Mrs. Agbi just said, we have one representative, and I think she's even the right person to represent the ESCO on that, committee, so that one she can bridge the gap between the committee and the ESCO, at the same time, our office as the secretary can also, work on the documentation. That's the way from experience. So that's where I feel it should be done. We should not be afraid of whether they are going to delay or not. The fact is, you just mentioned it, we need to carry them along. And more so, the constitution is not ESCO's constitution, it is the association's constitution. So they should be carried along. It's just my own suggestion anyway. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Mayowa, for that
I want
information.
Mayowa because at least amongst the general house, there are still some very serious people there too now. And one can pick because they will complain later. So let's
Okay.
avoid that.
But my experience in the last dispensation, though, it has become a thing of old, so I don't want to remember it again. But my experience in the last executive is that this present constitution that we call constitution was single-handedly done by me because the constitution review committee that we call, they didn't do it, they left it. I have to prepare it and give it to the chairman. Even when I give it to the chairman even refused to present it. I have to present it.
And if you remember then, they were part of those
But
that took that
nevertheless,
time.
it's a thing of old. I think we let us channel a new course and see how we move. So I want to join my voice with their own voice too. That we pick one person from the Exco and then two members from the general house. But before we finish, the Satundeba Nire raise up his hand. You have the floor, sir.
No problem, no problem. I agree with you. I wanted to chip in something, but there is no need again. Don't worry. We are good to go.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So, who are the two people we are picking from the floor? Since Mrs. Agbi is going to represent the Exco in that body,
Hey, wo.
the work has started. Mrs. Agbi, the Lord is your strength.
Amen.
Devil.
Uh-huh.
We
So,
are
please,
busy.
can we suggest name? Can we suggest name, please? Okay, Mr. Tunde Banire,
Yeah. What I'm thinking is that
you have the floor.
is it proper to suggest name without consulting the person you are suggesting? We need to consult them. Or what do you think?
We are going to write them. We are going to write them. When you pick them, we write them, which I believe they will accept. But if they didn't accept,
Uh-huh.
then we'll still come back to the house and
Again,
reply
to
that
pick another
report
person.
back they didn't accept. Yes.
Okay. All right. It's okay.
So who and who can we pick?
Hello.
What of Isaiah?
Hello, sir. I'm with you.
What about Onitiri?
Onitiri,
What of
okay. Somebody
Isaiah?
suggested Onitiri.
Isaiah, ko. Isaiah.
Okay, Isaiah. Anyway, I don't think because based on my discussion with him on a general something, I don't think he will be available for now.
Okay.
For now,
What of
yeah.
what of Tope Bello?
Dr. Mayowa, will Takwe be available based on your experience?
What of Tope Bello?
Tokwe Bello.
Well,
Mr. Mayowa,
I can't speak for Tokwe. I can't speak for Tokwe, but I think he's from the last experience. Tokwe is a busy man. He's one of the, what do I call
we
it
can't hear
now?
you, please.
So can you hear me now? Hello.
Yes, sir.
You can hear you.
Yes, we are with you, sir.
Well, I'm only speaking based on my last experience. I don't know what his situation looks like now, but from the last committee we had, Tokpe was a busy man. Should I use that word? I think he's still a busy man because he's leading one of the major departments. He's always on meeting, whether at home or anywhere. He's always on meeting, so it's a difficult person to roll into a sensitive committee like this.
Okay. Um, who else can we pick on now? Let's just extract the entire member. Can we try Olumide? Mr.
Olumide
Tunde, are you
Yusuf.
still raising your hand? Okay.
Is it Olumide Yusuf? Are you talking of Olumide Yusuf?
Yeah. Yes.
It's okay.
Okay. So we agree.
Yusuf,
If he will
Olumide
agree.
Yusuf is a no-no. It's a no-no for me. Oh. Olumide Yusuf is a no-no. It was part of our executive last time. It's a no-no. I know why people go drag this matter.
Okay, so who do you think
I
we
didn't
can
hear,
pick now
I didn't hear what
to
happened
make
to
the third
Tope.
person?
The network did not allow me to hear. Why Tope? Why can't you use Tope? Abi,
Guy is very busy.
it's very busy. Okay.
Tokwe
Okay.
is a busy man. Tokwe is a busy man. I won't lie to you. To be sincere,
Ah,
Tokwe is a busy man.
are you not a
A
busy
very
man?
busy man.
Who is not busy?
Eh,
Abeg.
yes, I'm a busy man.
We are all busy. Oh.
I'm a busy man,
And
but
sacrifices that we are all doing.
when you're talking about busy, because
Because
in
I,
the reason why I asked Dr. Mayowa to say something about him is that because I know that he have a lot of experience with him last time they worked together, and so with that, I want us to really work fast on this issue so that we can really uh, get something done fast. I don't know if we can try this guy Falodun Lasisi Iwe.
okay, but who were in that constitution this thing before? The one we did.
It
Who
was
are the
it
people that
was
were there? Uh-huh.
Duru Ayo, Duru Ayo. I think Idayat.
Okay, let's try
These are
Iwe.
the three people.
Let's try Daily. Oh,
Okay.
let's try Daily.
Okay, we should try Iwe or then this guy also Segun Ayeshe. Like this guy also Segun Ayeshe. I don't know
We can
if
try
we
those
can
ones.
also.
We have a lot of potentials in our this group.
Yeah, because Segun Ayeshe in the last electoral committee, I think he functioned properly.
So
They had series of meetings which he was really there for the committee. Okay, Mr. Tunde, your hand is up. You have the floor.
Yes, please, Mr. Coordinator, let's be conscious of time. Please, I'm very sorry.
Yeah,
We need to be very
no problem.
fast because around
Yeah.
by 9:30, I think I have something I need to do, please.
Okay, okay, okay. So I think we should just try Segun Ayeshe and then Segun Ayeshe, Onitiri, and then Mrs. Agbi.
Yes.
So Mrs. Agbi, please, you try to write them and inform them of the assignment. The constitution is on our Exco page. You can also pass it to them so that the work can start. And then what is the time frame, please? Time frame. Hello, how's time frame? Hello,
Maybe I think 1 week is okay.
1 week. Okay.
1 week from when,
Mrs.
please?
Agbi, can you just.
From when? Well, Bookie, I don't tell you say you go assist me. You later for me in anybody.
Yeah, your own drag me.
Well,
Madam, yeah, your own though. I get my own too. Oh, oh yeah, 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 yeah.
1 week from the date of you people agreed to start the work now.
Let's give them 2 weeks instead of 1 week now. When are we meeting again? Maybe before our next meeting.
Okay.
We should have met and give us report on it.
Okay. Okay. 2 weeks. Okay. Okay, no problem. Mrs. Agbi, please, we kindly send the letter out maybe by tomorrow. Let the letter be out and informing them of their role, and from there we kick it off from there. Don't worry, Mr. Agbi, I will be in between. Don't worry.
Well, that's
Is
why
it
I dey
clear,
talk
ma?
about you. Yes, thanks.
I will be in between. So let's just get this thing done on time. Okay, I think that one has been settled. Can we move forward now?
Yes, please.
Then,
Dr. Mayo, this
let's.
some people's hands are up. Dr. Mayo
Okay,
and
okay, Madam Rose, you have the floor. Madam Rose, please, you have the floor.
Good evening, sirs and ma. Sorry, two things. I want to support what Gatunde mentioned. Let's be conscious of time. Also, the agenda is massive. I think we need to move on that. Attached to that, what's the word? This constitution thing we're talking about, we scanning just two people just here, and if one person said no, then we'll come back to the meeting and just be going. Why not scan more than the required number, maybe 3? So even if one drop, we don't have to start all over again. Instead of only contacting 2 people, if one person, because everybody's busy, if one person cannot, then we have to start scanning again. I don't mean we should discuss that now, but I leave that for the coordinator and the secretary to scan more people or more than 2, maybe 3. Because we have a lot to discuss this evening and the
Okay,
time as well. Thank you.
thank you, ma. Dr. Maiwa,
Sorry,
Dr.
I'll be
Maiwa,
fast
you have the
about
floor.
this. Yes, yes. Can you hear me now? Can I go ahead?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
Yes, you
So
can go ahead, sir. You have the floor, sir.
no, I want to ask a very important question on this constitution review. Uh, how do I put that question now? Are we in a hurry to review the constitution?
We are with you.
I said, are we in a hurry to review this constitution? Do you get me, sir, Mr. Coordinator?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Mayo, why we can't hear
Hello.
you? We can hear you.
What I'm saying is, are we in a
Hello, we are
hurry?
with you.
Okay. Are we in a hurry to review this constitution? The reason why I ask that question is this. There should be a notice to the General House for constitutional review. That's one. Secondly, to make the input a bit inclusive. Let me use that word, inclusive. We should commit our members to go through the constitution and just give us a suggestion. That will hasten the work of the committee setup. People go through the constitution. What do we need to take out? What do you think we need to add in? And all of us, hands on deck. We just look at the constitution. Everybody bring in their input, whoever think, and the committee now sit on it, collate all the input, and probably come up with something based on what the membership suggested. Then we can put back a draft constitution back to the house, and everybody look at it, and the general house pass it. For me, that's the way I feel. That's the way, from my experience, that's why I asked that question. Are we in a hurry to review this constitution, or we should just let it pass the normal process? For me, I don't think we need to be afraid of whether people will respond or not. People that will still respond, we even need to test the popularity and the acceptance of this mission. So if we are dodging that whether people will respond, will not respond, they will delay us or not, we will still go back to the same thing by the time we start the activities of a team. So I feel that's it from my own side anyway, and I stand to be corrected. I drop the mic.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Dr. Mawa. Madam Rose, you have the floor.
Thank you, sir. I understand what Dr. Maiwa is saying, and I think I accept the fact that about the constitution. The current constitution, the question there, what's the status? Is it signed off or draft? And if it's confirmed, like what he said, this confirmed one, if we ask even those of us in the meeting now, how many of us can openly say, oh yeah, I know rules and regulations that bind me to this association? That's there. So it's something that we cannot discuss, conclude, get people to review everything this evening with all the things we have on the list. Constitution writing is kind of a legal binding in court because it's kind of like what I think as Sister Rebecca mentioned earlier. We are permanent members. All those things are something that basically you accept to do it, even though it's voluntary. So what I'm trying to say is we cannot conclude tonight, and I don't think we should dwell on it so much because there's no how we can conclude like what Doctor have just mentioned tonight. It's not possible. You have to have a draft, go back and be concluded. So I think because today we have so much, it's either we put this into the next meeting. At that time, we'll have invited people, or rather, contacted people that we want to add in, and then discuss in detail. But I don't think with the time limit we have tonight and the list of things on this agenda, we can get anything. Thank you, Sezama.
Thank you very much, Madam Rosemary. Mr. Razak also his hand is up. I think we should give him a floor to talk. But before you talk, you introduce yourself and your portfolio. Thank you, sir. You have the floor.
Thank you. My name is Razak Ogumefun. I'm the Assistant Secretary to the group or platform. I'm sorry once again for coming late to the meeting. The other time I was at a function that is so noisy and that there's no how I could even concentrate. So I am sorry once again. I think what I meant on ground was the issue of constitution, the amendment of the constitution. And sometimes ago, I think we had one constitution that we all adopted. I don't know why the amendment come up now and what the problem is with the old constitution. If we have issue with that, I think it has to be, as Dr. Mario has earlier said, it has to be all inclusive. That is, the general member has to be involved because we all adopt the earlier constitutions. Coming up now within the executive thinking about the amendments, I think there's something wrong. And though I don't know what the discourse was before now, but what I meant on ground was amendment of the constitution. I was like, wow, what happened with the old constitutions that we had on ground? But if there's anything wrong with the old constitutions, if you don't mind, you can brief me so that we know what to do. Definitely, it's not a thing we can conclude tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Razak Ogumefun. And I want to thank everybody that has spoken regarding this constitution. There is a lot of things that is wrong with the constitution because when that constitution was made, uh, based on the need at that particular point in time, that was how we were able to come up with the constitution. As a matter of fact, some of the new positions we introduced, they are not in that constitution. So, how the new ESCO, how are we going to work? That's one of the things that led to the amendment of this constitution. Because then, let me quickly go through it, especially the position of the elective position that was there that time. That time we have national coordinator, we have vice national coordinator, we have national general secretary, we have assistant secretary, welfare, chairman, welfare committee, chairman, project committee, chairman, webinar committee, chairman, constitution committee, then chairman, diaspora affair committee, and then chairman, home affair committee. These are the things we have, which what we have now is not in line with it. And that's the reason why I felt there is a need for us to amend the constitution to meet up with the present things that we have, which is the normal settings of any meetings or any association. So that's the reason why I say there is a need for us to review the constitution or to amend the constitution. And also, I agree with what Dr. Mawa said. As a matter of fact, as I was speaking, something just came on me that maybe we can just come up with a Google form and then itemize one or two things there, let people uh, suggest and make their own comments regarding the constitution. But remember also, I don't want to refer to the thing that's happened in the past. That's how we put the constitution on the platform for like good 3 months. Nobody say a pen there. So this, this experience is there, but nevertheless, we've learned a lot of things during that time. I think we are now more mature than how we started before. So I believe we can still do better this time around. Just like majority said, that constitution is not something that we can start at a go and then finish at a go. It's going to be a kind of a continuous exercise. But the fact still remains that we need people to spearhead the thing. So we can just have the committee and then we inaugurate the committee. Then we allow them to work. Then we can help them on what to do, give them terms of reference so that they can come up with a Google form. Then they share it on the platform, let member contribute, and then they collate it, and then from there they can start their work. Actually, we don't really need any lengthy constitution for now because all our things have been done. Our account has been registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission and things like that. So we have a lengthy of we still have time to come up with one or two things. But the only thing we can only do is that some of these elected position we can just have a kind of a bylaw just to guide the ESCOs, to allow ESCO to know what they are supposed to do and things like that. Why we give time on the amendment of constitution? I don't know if we are okay with that suggestion, and then let's see how we make it fly. Thank you very much. Hello. Anything on what I just said now?
I think you have said where we need some amendment on the constitution, and I don't think there is with this. I don't think there I don't think it's a major issue. But since it is just the new offices that just added to the constitutions, I think this is a thing that can just added with it, with the responsibilities of the office without the general house. If that is the only issue that we have, if that's the only issue we have, we only add the new offices to the constitution, to the old constitutions with their responsibility. So if other constitution are in place, then we don't have any issue, except if it's only the position, the new offices that added, then we can just include that onto the constitutions with the responsibility. That's all. That's my whole opinion.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Razak. Madam Rebecca, you have the floor. Let's just try and conclude now.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Um, to also bring Mr. Razak up to what we said before he joined, our honorable coordinator here was trying to charge us up for our new roles, and he also mentioned that the last executive that one of the person that is holding the portfolio did not attend meeting all throughout the year, and anytime maybe responsibility is given to him or her, I don't know, he doesn't attend to it, and other thing that is charging us that we know we are going to do better. And for me personally, I would have seen the constitution a long time ago. I might be, pardon me, part of people who did not really look at the constitution. For us to be part of an association, I'm sure maybe 70% of the people in the general group doesn't even know what the constitution is and what it looks like or what is binding us. That is why some people, you will send something, they will not attend, they will not look at it. So that's why I asked the question, do we really have the constitution? If you have, maybe we should try to let everybody see it. And if you are join an association, you should be bounded by the constitution, what is in there, what you will do and what you should not do. And as an executive, if you are not able to attend meeting for a whole year, that means there should be some bridges or fan that should be given to the person if he really wants to be member of this committee. That was how the constitution came about, and they said yes, there was, but there are one or two amendments that need to be done on it. So like Dr. Mayo has said, we should share it to everybody. They should look at it and see the things that are binding to them, unlike this kind of attitude that we have in the general meetings, as if we are just there cashing funds, sending copy and paste, and when the real issue or the real things come, everybody, nobody, no response. So that everybody is aware, and believe you attend other associations or club, when you immediately you become a member, you have copy of the constitution that binds you, so that you are guided accordingly with it. That was how, one of the reasons why he brought it up. Thank you.
Ebenezer, let's
Okay,
talk about the account.
Let's move forward. We have a lot of things to do. We can't
Forward,
stay
let's
on that
talk
one.
about
All of
the
these things will be in the constitution, the account, the dues we are paying. If you are not paying dues, are you a member? You can't just be there. And that's one of the things that are dragging this association down. There are things that everybody's supposed to do as a member. You
okay,
understand? So let's, now that we are this a new executive, let's try to see if we can bring up the association to where it's supposed to be. The accounts, how much do you have in accounts? Supposed to be have account review. We're supposed to be paying dues. How many people are financial members? When people have, what are the benefits? When people have issues, God bless us, that is a birthday or something, what is the person entitled to? All those things should be in the constitution for me. You understand? That is what we brought. It might not end today, constitution is very wide, like we said, but at least with all of those things, if everybody is aware of it, it will help us to even drive the general group appropriately.
okay. Thank you very much, everybody. I think we cannot really finish the matter of this constitution today, but I just want us, just like we have suggested some names, let's still go back and write them. And somebody said that we should add more people to the ESCO, to that committee. I and a secretary will look at some of the available people there, and then we'll post it on our ESCO platform for your ratification. Then we write them, and then we give them terms of reference on what to do based on what we've discussed now. Then they can start their work. I think we should just uh do it like that, and let's see how it fly. We will not rush. We are going to take our time so that everybody will know the rules and regulation of that association, and then they will know their entitlement, because a lot of question comes out. What is my benefit? What am I going to gain? These are some of the things people do say, and it's because we don't really have, they don't really know what is in the constitution, despite the fact that we posted it for like 3 months for their input and nobody say anything. So we are still going to go ahead with the committee. That then what we just need to do is just to put some names there. Then we want the house to ratify it on our platform. And as soon as you give us go ahead about it, we are going to write them, and then we'll let them start, and then they will inform the general house on how to go about the constitution. I think let's just move ahead because of our time, and then we come back to it once again. Um, the next thing is the vision for the year. The year has started, and today is second. And as an Exco, we should have something we want to do to really uh, put the association in a normal way. And that's the reason I want us to discuss about some of the things we you want us to do as a ESCO. But before that, maybe I should just check that one a little bit so that we can quickly talk about the account and then see what we have in the account and see how, where we are, and then we now know what to do. I think I'm speaking the mind of everybody. Hello, am I speaking our mind?
Yes, we are with you.
Yes.
We are with you.
Thank you very much. So I will call on the former treasurer, which happened to be the same treasurer now, to give us the position of the account. Madam Buki, you have the floor.
Good evening, everyone. My name is
Good
Bukola
evening, ma'am.
Akitside, the Financial Secretary. So far so good. We've been able to open a new account with the help of Ola Awe. So the new account has been sent to us, and the money we have in the account now is 232,666 naira 56 kobo. That is what we have in the account. So the only thing that is left for us to get the checkbook of that account, and to also change the signatory, since Olawe is no more part of the executive. So we need to change him, to change the signatory to any other member of the committee. So that's all I can say for now. Ebenezer can tell us more about it too. Thank you.
Uh, Thank you very much, the CBN. I want to ask you one question. Is it after deduction of the our how should I put it down? Because we make some expenses. There was the money given to Ayo. Uh, we gave Ayo Bankole 25,000 naira during his mother's burial. And then during the opening of the account, we spent 20,000. But I still need to consult Awe whether he also spent additional fund. But the money being spent during that time that comes from one of our members is 20,000. So I don't know whether he spent extra thing on that. So I still need to contact him to know. So I want to say the balance you gave, is it minus the 45,000 or 45,000
No,
inclusive?
no, no. The amount I said now is the amount that was migrated from the old account. That is the
To
account
the
that
new
was
account.
closed to the new one.
Okay.
So no money has been deducted. So we have not repaid people that have spent their money. Ehen.
Okay.
So this is the real money that is in the
Okay.
account
Okay.
now, the amount that is inside the account now.
Okay. Thank you very much for that information. So the account has been reactivated, so we have a working account now after the intervention of the Mr. Welaluwa to help us to recover the account. So we have 232,661 naira 56 kobo in the account. So one thing is that we need to change signatory, because in the signatory in the mandate says that the coordinator and any of the treasurer or the general secretary. So there's a need for us to do a change of account. Should be in Abuja, probably this weekend or next week. I'm going to see Awe so that we can kickstart that. Like myself and Buki are on the Mondays. So the only person we need to change is Awe to replace him with Mrs. Agbi. To replace him with Mrs. Agbi. So I think we can just do that and then we have the accounts being normalized. So I think that's the issue on the account for now. That is the issue for the account for now. So I think uh I asked him, I discussed with him before Christmas whether we can see, but he responded very late and me have left Abuja before that time. So we he promised that this new year we are going to see. So I should be in Abuja this weekend or next weekend. I'm going to see him and then know what to do because we need a new checkbook and some other things like that so that we can know how to go about it and also about the change of the signatory so that we know that the account is now active and then we can be able to use it. So I think that's that about that's the status of our account for now. I don't know if anybody have any question regarding that. Hello, House. Hello, are we together?
Yeah, we are here.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay. So, any question regarding that?
As for me, no question.
Okay. Any other person? Okay, thank you very much. So, I think we just go straight to the vision because some of the things listed as part of the agenda is still part of the vision for the year. How do we run this year to see that we maximize what we have and then we are able to achieve so much? And we're talking about the vision now. We're talking about what do we think we can really do or to make the association become active, become what all association used to be. Okay, Madam Rosemary, your hand is up. Let me quickly give you a floor before I continue.
Sorry, sir. Sorry to pull us back. When you had that network connection issue, I asked a question about dues and everything, and we couldn't talk much about that. Now you're mentioning a vision, and the agenda is talking about reunion. 200,000 wouldn't do anything. So, do we have dues that we have to pay? We're talking about constitution that we're supposed to be paying due as members, I believe, but nobody seems to be talking about it. It seems like the money we have is more than enough to do everything, which I doubt it. My question is, how do we fund the association to support ourselves or to use what we expect to be done within an association? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. We all know what we passed through in the last dispensation, and I believe I will say I don't want to talk about that last dispensation any longer. But there is no way we'll do it without referring to one or two things there. The issue now is how do we fund the association, and that's the reason why constitution has to be in place. Because in our the last dispensation, we said that every year we should be paying 6,000. Some people say it's too much. Some people don't even pay. Even some Exco did not pay. And some of them that pay, we have to drag them to pay. Is a very pathetic story. A very pathetic story, but I believe we are growing. That's one thing I know. We are growing, and I believe we are going to have a better time this time around. So I think we need to talk about how do you fund the association. Uh, from the side talk, from the some people said we should not put dues. Some are of the opinion that we should not put dues, that whenever we need something to do, we can just come up. Somebody even make reference to the issue of Oshodi, that before we know we were able to raise money and things like that. And I tried to let the person know that things doesn't work like that. An association needs something to drive it. And any association that you remove money away from, that association will never see the light of the day. That's the truth of the matter. Because wherever your treasure is, that's where your mind will be. If you don't have anything at stake, if you want fall, you can fall. But in as much as your treasure is there, your mind will surely be there. And these are
Please mute Buki.
some of the things we need to take into consideration as executive, and see how we can do it to make people uh pay and things like that. So I don't really know. Are we still going to maintain the 6,000, or we want to reduce it, or how do we do it? We are the Excos. When we determine what we want to do, we go back to the house and explain to them and let them have the reason why it should be like that. Thank you very much. The floor is open, please. Hello. Okay, Mr. Razak, you have the floor.
Yeah, yeah. I think
Mr. Razak, you have the floor.
yes, I'm on. I think if it's 6,000 naira per annum, that's around 500 naira monthly, all right? If
Yeah.
it is five, if it's 500 naira monthly, I don't think it's too much. We can leave it at that. But the point is that how do we get the fund from people? How do member pay? Because honestly, it's not as if I've paid mine too, but to at times it's not as if the money is much, but at times we don't put mind there. As you have earlier said, that your mind will only be where your treasure is. So, which I agree with you. If all of us, every one of us, have an impact played, we find out that our mind will be there. But just because all of us are not really, we don't really put mind in it, so it constitutes a problem for us. So my point is this: we can leave it at that amount first at
I
first
think
now.
Mr. Razak is having an issue with his network.
Yeah, possibly. Hello, can you hear me now?
Hello, we are with you. Yeah, we are with you.
Yes, I said that we can leave it at that 6,000 naira per annum. But the question now is, how do we get the money out of people? What strategy do we use in getting the money? Because for every association to move forward, the funding, and if the funding is not available, hello,
Hello, we are with you. We are listening. We are with you. We are
said
with you.
for every association to move forward, where there's lack of funding, 6,000 naira. But the point is that how do we get the 6,000 naira from people? We should brainstorm on that. How easy that would be. Thank you.
Hello,
Thank you
Mr.
very much,
Razak.
Mr. Razak
Yeah,
Bukumefun.
thank you.
I don't know if any other person here.
I wanted to kind of respond to his question.
Yeah, go
Mrs.
ahead,
There are
Agbi,
please.
you
programs
have the floor. You can say, you can talk.
when we at least some of us paid the dues that last time. When the account was opened,
You have the floor, Mrs. Agbi.
the, yeah, I'm on now. I'm talking. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
Yes,
Yes,
we can
yes,
hear you.
yes. We can hear you.
Hello, we
Okay.
can hear you.
We
Okay.
can hear you,
I
Mr.
said
Agbi.
okay. I said the last time how some of us paid it when we opened the former account. The account number was was displayed on the platform and people did transfers. I think to make it easier for people to be able to pay because there were lots of controversies then that 500 was even too much. So we should scrap it. We had the leverage of paying like you can pay the break the money to two or twice or three times depends on how you want to pay it. Because most of them we felt that 500 naira would be too small for one to be doing transfer every month. So what most of us did, like me then, I broke my own into two. I paid it twice before the end of that year. So which is still what we could still do. Because anybody that wants to pay is you cannot put hand into somebody's pocket and force the person. We still bring it to the floor. The new account number will be displayed and people will pay the money into the account there directly. Because we are all in different places in the world. So the only way we can make such payments is through transfer to the account directly. So in whichever method you feel is okay for you, that will be easy for you. If you can be doing the 500 monthly by transferring it, fine. If you can make it twice in the year or three times, or some people can just do the outside payment. Depends on how buoyant we are. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Do anybody have any other? Madam Rebecca, you have the
Yes,
floor.
to add to what Madam Ann said, like what Mr. Razak was asking, how do we get it from them? Another thing. Yes, we will display the account, but whosoever is responsible, I think it is the financial secretary, should make it like an obligation, like every month. That once in a while you remind them. And even what we do, like where is to pay the list of people that have or people that have paid or people and say this is what we have, please pay into your monthly dues, just to remind them maybe every month once the month is coming to an end or beginning of the month, this is our financial status, some people have not paid, please pay to this account, just a kind of reminding them. And we even go to the extent of sometimes those that have not even paid at once, maybe to their personal WhatsApp, will not send a mail to them, that we send them WhatsApp personal message to them and say, we just to remind you blah 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 that you have not paid, this is the account number, we no, we can like she said, we can't take it away from their pocket, but we just try to a kind of encourage them to pay. But I'm very sure for a long time we have not displayed it in our chat, group chat, but we have not displayed it. So once in a while, maybe every month, just display it. I have to remind people so that people will be able to, like me sometimes only when they put it in the other one that I will remember, I have not paid for how many months, okay, let me just drop 2,000, 3,000, you know. But if you don't remind them like that, everybody will carry and say maybe they don't need it.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Maiwa, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you, sir. So I feel probably this can also work with us. I remember in one of my alumni, you know, group, what we normally do to encourage people, permit me to use that word, encourage. every time payment is payment is paid into the account, the financial secretary will always put up a list of people, what they have received against the name of the person, um and just put it there. Sorry, in case you have sent us your payment, and your name is not on this list, kindly send us like a ticket to. Indirectly, two things we are trying to do. We are trying to let people know that if you have paid and your name is not on the list, just let us know so that we will know how to sort it out. That's one. But most importantly, it's a reminder, and you just see that the list keep increasing and increasing and increasing, and people respond to it because it's more or less like operating an open account. So people know that definitely the list will come up, and if you have paid, you just see it, they will be adding names to it, and that one alone is more or less like an open accountability, process for every one of us. People want their name to be on that list, yes, so that you won't be the. And if you have paid and your name doesn't reflect on it, you also inform the secretary, the name comes up, and you see people responding massively to some of the to payments. So we might not want it, but I think it's a method that works when you are using social concept to it works. So we can use that as well, and probably it will work for us too. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Maiwa. Uh, Runke, you have the floor, please. Hello, Runke, you have the floor.
Your line is muted in case you're talking.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayowa. I think that's a very good strategy. As when we populate the name against what they paid, I think it will really work. And also about what Ajayi said earlier, that if we need money, urgent money, just put it on the platform. People will respond. And once people are responding, keep writing their name. Put the names against what they paid. It work really well. Because and don't limit people. Don't say, okay, we have to pay this. I'm not talking about the association, I'm talking about general. If you need any money, just like you want to buy something to put back to our back to go and help people. I mean, put back to the what is this uni or the
Alma
poly we
mater.
went our alma mater. Just say, okay, we need to buy this. Then if you have money, you pay. Just contribute. You will see people responding. People will want to respond when you put such things on the platform, and the names, why the names, and against what they pay. I think the strategies work very very well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Runke. I think that strategy will definitely work. Though some people don't like it, but we will not care. We will not care this time around because there is generosity that money answers all things. And then if your things is your treasure is there, your mind will surely be there. So I think let's try that strategy and let's see how it's going to work for us this time around. So we should still maintain the 6,000 for the annual dues, and then whenever other needs arise, then we can call for contribution. Right? Is that not what we are saying?
I think
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
yes,
Yes.
that will
Yes.
work.
Hello? Are we together?
Yes, you are right. It's okay.
Okay. Okay.
It's
Okay.
okay.
So
It's okay.
6,000 annual dues, and then as soon as anything comes up, we should place it on the platform and ask people to make contribution. Like somebody even called me that whenever there is a need in the house, I should not hesitate to tell him that it's ready anytime, any day. So I think so. These are the kind of the mind that people have. They will definitely do when the need arise and things like that. It's like Ronke still want to say something, right? Your hand is still up. If yes, you have the floor.
It's always, yeah, they just take it off.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you. So I think that's that about
Hello,
the deals. But
coordinator.
before we can do that, I think
Hello,
yes,
coordinator.
ma.
Okay. I
Yes.
want to ask a question. Are people paying the outstanding years, or we are starting afresh? This year afresh. 2023 afresh dues.
Yeah. I'm with you.
And that's my question now. I'm just asking that,
Okay,
are we
okay,
paying for the
okay.
outstanding years, or some people, I know that people pay. We started this thing during COVID, and people pay that year. The following year, only few. So ever since that, nobody paid last year. 2022, nobody paid. So that's what I was thinking of. Are we paying outstanding? We need to agree now. Are we paying outstanding years, or we are starting as a new committee, new Exco? We are starting afresh 2023 dues. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Buki. So Buki is asking a question: are we starting afresh, or we should still recover the old dues? The floor is open again. We can also say we can also talk about that. Are we starting afresh, or we should try and recover the old dues? And if yes, what are the means are we going to use to recover it? The floor is open. Hello, the floor is open.
Hello.
Hello, Mr.
Uh,
Razak.
yeah, the coordinator. I think it is good enough if we can recover the old due. But I can tell you that might be very difficult and that might push some people away, discourage a lot of people due to the situation in the country. So I want to suggest that we should continue, we should start from this year fully. Suggestion, I mean, because if we want to look at that would be 12,000 naira. It's not as if it's too much, but I can tell you it's much to some people, and that can scare them away. If we can go ahead and continue with this new year
Okay.
and forget the subsequent one, so good enough. Just suggestion, please.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Razak. Any other opinion from the house? Hello. Let's talk fast. After
Hello, I
our
think
time is fast spent. Okay, Madam Rosemary, you have the floor.
it is Agbio Ebenezer.
I know.
It is Agbio. It's not Rosemary.
This is Abi. Let Madam Rosemary talk first.
Okay. No, Allah.
Okay. Sorry, madam. Yes. Excuse me. I think support what Mr. Razak mentioned. Having said that, this is my suggestion that if they can give the exec members only this side their status, as in any of us here, that missed last year. This is where we are. This is where individual. And then if we can pay our outstanding, then we can then go to the house and start requesting for that. Like Mr. Razak mentioned, it could be difficult for some people, it could be okay for some people. But even if we want to go to the house and say, pay the outstanding, we should look at ourselves first before going there. So I think if we all know our status, when I say status, sorry, where we are, did we pay? Do we have any outstanding as individual, which we may not know? Maybe Bookie can let us know individually who is missing out in this group. I mean, the exact. Then we can then go to the house to say, let's start from the beginning, from this year, and let's move on. But whatever we do, let's kind of give the example. If we want to pay the outstanding, let the exec only members make sure we pay the outstanding and be up to date. But the house, I think we should start from now. This is my suggestion, please.
Okay. Thank you very much, Madam Rosemary. Mrs. Agbi, you have the floor. Hello, Mrs. Agbi, you have the floor. Hello.
Hello. Hello. Okay.
Yes, ma, you have the
I
floor.
think she has actually said what I wanted to say. That if we could lead by example and pay our own outstanding. The truth of the matter is nobody made any payment last year. That's just the truth. 2022, nobody paid a dime. I think it was towards that period that this issue of the bank with CBN now came up. So that now informed us not to even push anybody about making payments into the account until the issue was resolved. So that's just it. We still, like
Okay.
you suggested, that we
Okay.
support it too. We could reach the agreement within us now. If we can pay our standing, then we take it to the general body and then tell them, okay, as executives, we have led by example, so let's let's see what will happen. But the truth of the matter is, even that last time, it's not. I'm not even sure it was up to two-thirds of the people that made payment. I'm not sure. Majority,
Okay.
even among the ESCOs, most of the ESCOs did not make their own payment. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for the contribution. I think I will ask Wookie to make the status of ESCO available on our platform here, so that based on the suggestion that the ESCO should pay the outstanding, so that we can lead by the example, and then we inform the
S-
house we've paid all our outstanding, but
Sorry,
the
honorable sir. I'm really sorry to interject you.
okay.
I'm sorry. I was raising
Okay.
my hand. Maybe probably did not see my hand.
Okay, I didn't
I'm
see.
sorry to
Sorry,
interject
sorry,
before
sorry,
you
I didn't see.
conclude. I'm really sorry, sir.
Okay.
I'm saying that
Okay.
it's like what we have said and what Manarabi has even said. I don't think anybody paid last year. So if you want to pay,
Nobody paid last year.
are we going to start from 2020? So let's look at where it will be realistic and achievable. If all the executive pay, which by the grace of God we may be able to pay for last year. So what of if any
Okay.
member of the house do not pay? What will now happen?
And that's what
If
we
we
are
are going
saying.
to, so if you are going to make it, let's just agree on something. It's either we are waiving last year or whatever and start afresh this January, or which will be binding to everybody, whether executive or member, or we pay executive will pay our own, pay the outstanding, and now find a way to take it to the house for them to also pay. But what I'm saying is that let's look at what will be realistic, looking at the economy. I'm not speaking to myself alone, I'm speaking to everybody and as a group. So let's look at it very well and conclude.
Hello?
Okay. Thank you
Hello?
very much.
Hello, good
Bookie,
evening.
you have the
Yes,
floor.
good evening,
Good
everyone.
evening.
See, I would suggest that this is a new regime, a new committee. Hmm? let us start afresh. Because now, if you are talking of the executive, some are new among us, some are no more among us, the old executive. So let's start afresh with this new executive. So to be serious, 2023, just make sure that all the executive, the new executive, pay their money first. We lead by the example. So when they see that we executive we've paid, they too they will do what? They will pay. And by reminding them, sending mails, sending SMS, pasted the names of people that have paid, they will all paid. So let us start afresh. This January is better. This January is better for us to start with it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, any other opinion, please?
I think that was a chat Joyce sent, Ronke sent.
Yes, yeah, yes, I saw it. So, like now, if you look at the okay, Ronke, you have the floor. Ronke, you have the floor. Unmute yourself.
Yes, yes. Sorry. Yeah, I just want to say that we have picture in this platform we are using. So sometimes just use the message instead of everybody talking. Like if you just want to say yes or no or something, you can just use the messaging picture.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ronke. So we have two opinions on the ground. I want us to do it fast, fast. We are in a democratic war. Thank God we are eight in number. Let's see how it works. If you want us to pay outstanding as Exco, that is this new Exco, and then go to the general house and say we want to start afresh, just type one. If you want us to start afresh, both Exco and every member, type two on our chat, please. And let's quickly conclude. If you want only the ESCO to pay the outstanding, that is this new ESCO that is on ground now, so that we can lead by example. And we said the new member, the other members should just start from 2023, type 1. If you want everybody to start from 2023, type 2. We are waiting. Only three people have responded. 4 people out of 8. 5 people out of 8. 6 people out of 8. Then the two have it. Thank you very much. So we are going to start afresh. Thank you. So when we start afresh, we are going to make use all the method we have listed to approach it and get the money out of the people. God will help us. God winnings, we are going to get it right this time around. With the help of the ESCO, with our cooperation, I believe we are going to get it right this time around. Thank you very much. And also, let us bear it in mind that as need arise, we are going to be coming to the house to solicit for fund apart from our uh, yearly dues. Thank you very much for that. Then one thing I want us to discuss also is reunion program. We will not discuss into details because it will require some committees and things like that. But I think we can just give a guideline. Do we do reunion this year or not? That's one thing I want us to discuss. Because for us to be able to really put ourselves on ground properly, we need a physical a meeting, the online may not really go really well with us always, because this is a group that have left themselves for the past 20 years. Then I think when we see ourselves face to face, we'll be able uh to really do something better. So if you want us to do union, please signify. If you don't want us to do, please let's signify. Okay, hand is up. Can you have the floor, please?
Sorry, I forgot to take it off. Thank you. So it was a mistake.
Okay, it was a mistake. Okay, fine. Okay, no problem. Uh I don't want us also to take this matter too far. I don't want us to discuss it much. If you want us to do reunion, type one. If you don't want us to do reunion, type two. One out of eight, two out of eight, three out of eight, four out of eight, five out of eight, five out of eight. Going.
But you two vote now.
I don't need to vote. Vote has already voted itself.
You need to vote. You need to talk.
You need to vote.
Six out of
Oga,
eight.
Oga, respect yourself. Vote. Why is Mayowa out of this meeting?
Mario has
My
voted.
was voted now.
Union. So what month? What month? Yes, now he has voted. He's even the second person or third person to vote. He's the second or third person to vote. So what month and what date?
We can do it in April. Mid-year.
Hello?
We can do it in mid-year, April.
Bookie, April is not mid-year.
April is not mid-year.
It's first quarter.
First quarter. Okay, first quarter.
That's first quarter. First quarter of the year.
Is it all too soon? We need planning. It's
Abi.
3 months. Okay.
Okay.
So somebody suggested April. Any other suggestion?
August.
That's another
August.
one.
I'm guessing
Okay.
August.
Somebody say August.
August is also good before we
I
start.
support August too.
Okay, we have two. We have
Yeah.
two dates. We have April and then we have August. We have April. We have August. If you want April, okay.
No,
Somebody said November, December.
November will be a good
November,
one.
December. December should be out of.
December will be a good
December should be out of it.
one.
December,
December should be
there
out
will
of
be too much activity in
Too much
December.
activity.
Yes, December should be
Yes.
out of it.
And November then, November.
So we have April, we have August, we have November.
Where on
We
the
have
type all this?
April, we have August, we have November. So if you want
Coordinator.
April, type 1. If you want August, type 2. If you want November, type 3.
Coordinator.
Sir?
I beg, I'm alien to this thing. Where are you typing one, we're typing two? I don't understand.
Why did you go offline?
Okay.
Why did you go offline?
Where you go?
Maybe
You know that the
you
meeting.
lost network. When we type
Where did
one,
you go like that?
when we type the one is that if we want reunion to happen this year, we should type
Melissa,
1.
sorry,
If we
I
don't
think I
want it to
understand.
happen
Sorry,
No,
this
he's
year,
I
saying
think I
where.
understand what he's asking. I've seen that somebody put the last vote you did on the WhatsApp group chat. We need to guide the person accordingly on where the chat box is here so that they can also participate. That's what it's saying. Can you hear
I didn't
me?
hear you, please.
I think the person wants to know. Let's guide the
Hello,
person
Mr.
on the
Razak.
chat.
Are you with
Guide
me?
the person
Yeah.
on the chat box so that he can participate. Somebody is
Hello.
typing on the group WhatsApp instead of this chat box. That's what it's asking. Where are we typing this about? Did you get me?
Hello, Mr. Razak.
I'm with you. Okay. Okay. Where?
Okay, at the can you hear me, Mr. Razak?
Yes.
You
Okay,
have three
did
dots
you
at
get the
the
explanation by
right hand
Madam
side.
Rebecca?
The right
Because
Yes.
hand
I
side.
don't want
Three
us to
there
be
are three
dragging the
dots.
matter, and
Three
so we
dots at
just
the right hand
we
side.
don't want to make a
If
decision
you
that
click
if you
it,
want a
if you
reunion
click
type
it,
one, if you don't want a reunion
sorry,
type two.
if you,
So that's
Mr.
the reason why
Razak,
you saw
at
all those one.
the three dots at the right hand side, if you click it, you will see where they wrote in call messages. So that is where you click on the message. That's where the chat box is where you can type. Did
Okay.
you get it?
I've done that. Yeah, okay. Okay. I've seen it. I
Okay,
tried it before. I didn't see this. Okay.
Okay,
okay.
Okay. Okay.
okay. Thank you very much. Now, what is on floor now is we want to pick a date for the reunion. Since we all agreed that we should have a reunion, so we somebody suggested April, another person suggested August, another person suggested November. So if you are for April, you type one. If you are for August, you type two. If you are for November, you type three.
When is Easter coming? When is Easter coming, please? If
Easter is
Easter
in
is
April.
if Easter is April, I think it's Easter April have it.
No, we can't say April have it. That's the reason we are putting it into
You have
vote.
to vote.
We have April, we have August, we have November. We have three numbers on ground. So if you are for April, you type one. If you are for August, you type two. If you are for November, you type three. Okay. We have 4 November. We have 2 August. This thing no want me to vote to. He just telling resent. Too
Your
bad.
own, vote your own.
Okay.
Vote your own. Let's
Talk, I
conclude.
go talk my I go talk my own.
No, you don't need to talk. You need to vote.
See, oh, he has left the meeting. He doesn't want to vote. Oh.
The network, the network has logged him out.
Politician, the guy na politician. Well, he will be alright.
Ah,
Oh my God.
It is,
he's confused.
so April is. I agree that April is too close because of before we can get in touch with the member, all those
I think we should
preparation.
take it to the general house. We are not the one. We are not the
Yes.
only one that will involved in the party. We might pick August, and more people may prefer November to the general house. What do you think?
Maybe we throw it to the house August or November. Let's see what they
Sorry,
have.
the thing is just the network just throw me out of the
You threw
place.
yourself out, Oga.
If you
You threw
It's the
yourself
network.
out because you are a
Because you don't
politician.
want me to vote.
Uh, Ajayi Ebenezer, vote.
I have voted now, but I've not heard the other one that have done it before.
Ebenezer, we now said when you are offline that maybe we should throw you to the house August or November.
Okay, you want us to add that two dates in mind, Abi? Okay.
So maybe when we have a meeting, first meeting with the house, so we'll conclude.
Okay. August. So we have
No, we can't impose dates. We can't impose dates or the most or the general house so that they can also have their own say.
okay. No problem. So we have August and November as the proposed month. Okay, so we will ratify the other one at the level of the house. Okay, but Mr. Dr. Mayowa raised up his hand. You had the floor, sir.
Can we shorten the process of this one? Already we have from the vote here, we have November as the winning date. We can easily revert back to the house. We are planning to hold um what on November. I mean reunion in November. Then probably we can come up with a reunion committee that can now go into action. If there is going to be a change of date, let the reunion committee do that via the general house, because they still have to report back to us in the house. Reunion is taking place. These are the activities we want to have, and this is what we have in mind. What is your contribution to that? These are little things that give people sense of inclusion in our process. So very important. Then before I drop the mic, I want to quickly say that
Okay.
the first message officially from the Exco should not be money. Let us congratulate the house for making it to 2023. Probably out of that congratulatory message, we can share part of our vision for the year, and part of the sharing of the vision is the new we hoping that people will pay more of their dues this year, and we're going to operate an open account. By the time we write all this, it won't look as if we are just coming back. Then we can also add to the group, so that the group can be active. Any opportunities we see around, maybe employment opportunity, maybe business opportunity, we can be posting it on, as long as it is verified and genuine. Then probably some of word of I think we've said this times to that number, so that people will feel a sense of belonging. And that's one major thing that is lacking on that group. People feel they don't feel that sense of belonging, and the only way to do that is just for us to. So first thing I'm saying, let us write a message congratulating everybody for making it into the year. We can share part of our vision with them and probably encourage them as well. Then as we move forward, we can now start posting some content that can help people to find new direction for themselves personally, and probably find love for the group eventually. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dr. Mayowa, for that. So he said the winning month is November. So let us just post the November when we are meeting with the general house that we want to have a reunion in November, and then we come up with the reunion committee, and then let's pass the bulk of the work to them, and let us report back to the general house. And then number two, somebody asked of the venue. Which venue are we going to use? Abuja, Lagos. Because these are the two central places that we can use. And remember, bulk of our members also they are in Lagos. So I don't know. which venue are you picking? Because these are some of the things we need to settle within ourselves before we pass it to the house, and then before we pass it to the constitution review committee. Before we pass it to the reunion committee, because if you leave all those work for them, we discover that they will not come up with anything at the end of the day. You know, we've tried before. We leave all the bulk of the work with them, but nothing comes out at the end of the day. So I want us to be very sensitive this time around by doing what? Tidy up all the works. When we tidy up the works, then we can go there and then we talk, and then we have little or less stress from the old things. I have three things here. Lagos. I have three Lagos out of eight. Three Lagos. Any other suggestion? Four Lagos.
But honorable sir, if I may ask,
Yes, sir.
I know that the bulk of us, many of us residing in Lagos, but for the people in Abuja, we also consider them. It doesn't mean that they're going to travel down to Lagos. Can't we have in the two locations at the same dates? I'm just saying, but it depends on how many people we have. If they are able to come over to Lagos, if you call it physical meeting reunion, or that's my suggestion though. I've seen where they did two places where those and then the central people come around Lagos for reunion, other people in Lagos, and then maybe like Zoom they see themselves. But the I'm just saying depend. I'm leaving it for the house. If you say Lagos, what are those living in Lagos? That means most of in Abuja, most of them might not be able to travel to Lagos, or they will plan to travel flights. And how are we going to help them to do that? Or they organize theirs and maybe at the same day, and then we can see ourselves. And that's the way they usually do this thing. I'm just as my suggestion, though I might not be very correct.
Thank you very much, man. She has another opinion to the religious strategy by saying that we should have two locations. How Bible is that? House, please. Can we discuss that? If not, Lagos have the majority number now. Okay, Mr. Razak, you have the floor, please.
Yeah, with my suggestion here, I think it will be so good to have it in two different places at first time, at our first meeting, because the essence of renewal is to meet one another at a time. So if we are having it two places, definitely you find out that the renewal is not, we have not achieved what we want to achieve. You know, at first, let us meet at a place first, maybe Lagos, as earlier suggested, because most of the bulk member are in Lagos. So we can make it Lagos. And number two, why we cannot have it in two places, the expenses. They are going to rent hall there, we are going to rent hall here. Everything is going to be double. So that is where the suggestion of having it in one place should come up. Thank you.
Okay, somebody suggested that because of the expenses, that it should be better we have it in one place. What do we think about that?
Think about that. Let's have it in Lagos.
It's not only expenses,
All the expenses.
it's not only expenses alone. If we have it in two places, we have not achieved what we want to achieve by reunion. We want to reunion in the sense that we want to meet everybody. Everybody wants to meet one another. We want to meet at once, not in two different places where we cannot meet other people at other places, other locations. So let us make a location, one place where we all meet at a time, at a date. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Razak said that the reason for union is that for everybody to meet at the same place. And if we want to achieve that, we need a single location. Then Mr. Dr. Maiwa is raising up his hand. You have the floor, sir.
I think this is the first. This is the first reunion we are doing. We can do the maiden in probably subsequent one. We can rotate. We can now do the
Oh,
other one probably in Abuja. We can even go to London and do the other two. I think it's
okay.
the maiden one. Let's do it in
No
Lagos,
problem.
and
Thank you for that information. So
yeah.
the Lagos has it. So let's prepare all of us. Let's prepare ourselves to come to Lagos. Some of us are coming from the north, but what do we do to put some of these things in places on our platform to make the place active once more? But my problem with our people is that okay, the problem with our people is that they abuse some of these things. You see people posting nonsense thing at the end of the day. Like a cut a time, we have to talk to some people to be calming down. In the sense that when we need them, we not even see them. But at the end of the day, they will just come and just be posting. Some of them, some people even told me they don't open that place again because some of this posting is not helping them at all. So I think we should come up with an innovative posting messages on how we can achieve better thing this 2023 and things like that. And I believe with that, we can really bring the house together once more. And then when we now begin to talk about some of the things to be done that require money, nobody will want to say otherwise. So I think these are the things that we are going to be doing this time around. If you have a good things, you can just post it. Let people know what is happening in the world, which something that can really help, not something that I cannot help, something that can really help. And then with that, I think we are going to get it right this time around. So please, if you have a good content, kindly post good content that can really help people, not the one that will cause controversy that will scatter the house. So please, let's bear that one in mind to be able to come up with a good content, and then let's begin to throw it even before we call meetings. Let the house feel that there are new Excos on ground that really mean business. So with that, we capture their hearts, and if we can be able to capture their hearts with some of their content that we are posting, I tell you, their pocket will not be locked because they know what they are going to gain at the end of the day. So I think what Dr. Maiwa said is one of the key things that we really need to really move the association forward. So please, let's post good content so that after that we'll be able to get the mind of our people. I want us to discuss one more thing, then we can call it today because the day is being perfect. This is 10:40 already. People need to go and sleep. Then I think we can just roll over the other one. The other one is about a robot database to capture the member information. You know, we miss out a lot of things, especially some of our key members that they are really committed to this group. We miss out some of their birthday, their wedding anniversary, which does not really speak well of us. So we really need a robust and a strong database. We started earlier last year, late last year. Thank God. One of the chairman of that committee is also still the welfare chairman now. So I think he will direct us on how to go about it and to make sure that everybody is being captured this time around. To see that everybody something about that, and then we are good to go. Hello, Dr. Maiwa.
Yes, I'm still here.
Yes, sir. I'm saying you started something last year, late last year. I just want us to update us and then tell us how do we do it so that we will not miss anybody.
Okay. Well, I think one of the major things we had last year was the issue of people not responding, and I want to believe that probably is because maybe what we can do better this time around is we'll still the database is still there. What we can do now is to make it an open database in the sense that each time we have an update, we just post it on the group. Kindly check if your name is not on this list, you have not been captured. You can go to this and that way we can even be calling our friends out, people within our cliques. I didn't see your name on the database. What happened now? Please go and fill the database.
Database.
That way we call ourselves to action. So I think part of what we can do to make that database a bit robust this time around. Then we'll think out, or I'll think out on other, other innovative way to make it more attractive for people to feel. Because I don't think there is any big deal about that. It's a form, and the form, except if people have concern about privacy, except that. If not,
Because this year I don't want us to miss out any of our member, most especially our committed member. You understand? These are the people we see come rain, come sun, and some of these things, it goes a long way. Celebrating each other go a long way for us to be, there is this thing that give us this kind bond that we're talking about. Say, okay, you even remember my birthday, you even remember my wedding anniversary. That show this is the place I'm supposed to be and things like that. So please, I want us to start this time around and I want us to get it right. So please, and if you know anybody that you know that his birthday fall on, or maybe there is a way Buki told me that they used to do in their own one of their secondary school. There are people that are supposed to do birthday in January. We can just post that if you are in January born, you can drop your names so that and your names and your dates. Then that can also help us. It can also help us to really capture everybody this time around, so that we will not miss out anybody. And if we can take any other innovative way of doing it also, and then we should make our when we're presenting ourselves for birthday, for for wedding anniversary, please let us make it thick so that people will really enjoy it. So we thank Mrs. Agbe for what she has been able to do in the past. She has really done a good job, but nevertheless, let us make it thick this time around and don't let us leave anybody out of the thing. So, Mr. Maiwa, the ball is in your court. So I want you to really work it out this time around and to see that things work fine for us. Thank you very much. The time has been so fast spent. Let's just we will skip some of this one. The give back to school. Maybe we'll capture it in our next meeting. So that leads us to the 6 points.
we can
AOB.
create a social
Any other business, please?
Facebook.
Any other business?
Yes, no. Uh,
Okay, Mr. Mayowa raise up his hand. Mr. Razak. Let me call on Mr. Razak first before I call on Dr. Mayowa.
okay, thank you.
Mr.
I
Razak,
think,
you have the floor.
yes, yes, thank you. I think now that the new executive have met, I expected us to now list the name out with the respective offices they occupy and post in the general platform so that people could see the new executives and know them with the respective portfolio. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Mr. Razak Ogumefu wants us to post the list of the Exco with their portfolio so that people can know them and then know them with their portfolio. Okay, no problem. We'll do that. Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Mayowa,
Okay, so I want to ask if it's possible for us to create a social hub for for the
sir,
association. I say
I didn't hear you.
it's I want to know whether it's allowed for us to create a social hub for the association.
Social hub. Okay.
Yes,
I think
a
it's
social
okay.
hub. It might not necessarily be on WhatsApp. It might be on, but I will suggest either no, Instagram will not even allow that. On Facebook. And the idea of the social hub is just to celebrate and and we turn it the other way around. Rather than running after, we can make it we can search for people's wedding anniversary or whatever from our database. But beyond that, it can be we can now can I use the word decentralized? So like before, it was somebody that will post on your Facebook that okay, yeah, congratulations, this is your and Facebook. But in today's world, you have to tell us because people are thinking of so many things. So you will see people now, they will post their picture, it's my birthday, I thank God, and blah blah. From there, people see the notification and start responding to it. Other way, we can also make it available more or less like a list, just like what you said. But from what I know, there are some group where we belong, they post the list of celebrants. If your name is not on this list, kindly update. So with that, or you just tell us from the social hub, today is my birthday, and let us know what your mood looks like by way of then everybody celebrates. I think that's another way to do. So I'm just asking, is it permitted for us to put social hub?
That's something that Dr. Mayowa put in place, asking whether it's okay for us to put our association in a social hub so that we can be getting so many information regarding our birthday and things like that. Mr. Razak, I think Book you also raised up his hand. Mr. Razak, you have
Hello?
the
Yes.
floor. Let me check
I,
for Book.
Hello?
I
Hello,
think
Book. Hello.
Hello, house. Me, I would
Okay,
suggest
Bookie.
that the birthday this thing can be collected every
So,
month.
sorry, can we ask Mr.
From
Asa to mute, please?
Okay.
Hello?
Hello, we are with
Hello?
you.
Yes,
We
every
are with
month
you.
we can be collecting birthday and anniversary every first day of the month. So when the welfare send the welfare will send the invite that okay, if your birthday date is this month, kindly let us know. So you put it on the platform. So is anybody that puts it on the platform, that is the person that we are going to celebrate. So we will know that okay, these are the celebrants for this month, both birthday and anniversary. So when you put them, when is the day, we will celebrate you. You understand? Because that's what we are doing in the other my secondary school group. That's what they are doing. Every month they collate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Razak, you have the floor now.
Yeah, I think what Dr. Mewa has said is a welcome idea, and I want to admonish him that any means he feel that could be of help to accomplish this, you go ahead and do it. We will welcome it, since it's not good, it's not harming anybody. You know, whichever way he feel that he can accomplish means this mission, he should go ahead and do that. We welcome it, and if the same way she has just said mentioned now, if you're somebody like me, I forget the date of my birthday, the truth of the matter, you understand, I don't even remember because activity take over most of the things. So my friend has to tell me happy birthday friends, I say it's today 19 or so. At times I don't even remember date because I'm not on salary. If what Dr. Mayowa said is going to be of help, I think it's a welcome idea. Social hub. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Razak Ogumefun. Any other suggestion or objection to what Dr. Mayawa just said? Hello?
And I want to ask, with the social hub, is it not the celebrant that will still remind us that today is his birthday? And if the celebrant does not remember that day, so how will we achieve that? Or in the social hub, we will send it ahead. So how is it going to work?
So the idea of the social hub is to celebrate without necessarily, some of the things that uh how do I put it now? When you are using Facebook have I mean they have a space where they hold most of these things we post, more or less like everything is off our phones. But for the WhatsApp, most WhatsApp pictures reside on your phone, especially if you don't do it the I mean the right way. Not even the right way. Most people don't even know what that right way means. But what I'm saying in essence is when we have a social hub is linked to our Facebook. We are almost all of us are on the Facebook, I feel. The moment you share your whatever, we can just come to the main group and share the link. Somebody is celebrating wedding anniversary today. Kindly go to our social hub and celebrate with the person. On the social hub, you can post pictures, tell us your mood, how your day was, how you I mean that way we won't be nobody will be will feel you are stalking the phone memory or something like that. So the social hub give us opportunity to actually celebrate ourselves in a more creative way. That's just the idea of the social hub. And the issue of whether to remind them or not, we use a combined, just like what Manabugi just suggested now. We can come up with the list, and we can also tell them, if you are celebrating this month, whether birthday, anniversary or whatever, please kindly kindly let us know by a way of listing. Then we'll take it up from there. If we want to do like a video celebration for that purpose, if it is image you want to use, whichever we want to use, we can make it more creative. That's just what the social hub is all about, and it will not infringe on the integrity of the WhatsApp group. That's just the idea about it. I don't know whether I answered that question
Okay, thank
correctly.
you for the clarification. Yes, thank
Yeah.
you for the
Yes, sir.
clarification.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
So I think it's a good idea. And let's try and Let's try it and see how it works. Mr. Razak, your hand is still up. I still say something.
Sorry, I think I've said what I wanted to say.
Okay.
Dr. Mayawa
Okay.
is
Okay.
welcome, and whichever way
Okay.
you know you can accomplish it, you
Okay.
should go ahead and do. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you very
That means
much
we need to
for.
start immediately because this is already January and
Yes.
people are still
Yes.
celebrating their birthday. So that we don't
Yes. Some
start
people
middle of the
celebrated
month and
yesterday.
somebody said I've done mine, nobody celebrated me. We need to start
Yes.
as
Some people
soon as
celebrated
possible.
yesterday. Some people celebrated today. So please, I think Dr. Marawa should come up with one thing on the platform so that we can get them being celebrated this time around. Thank you very much. I think we've really done justice to some of the things we have on graph, and I want to really appreciate everybody for their time tonight. I know it's not very easy. We are just into the new year celebration up and down, but we still find out we will still make it deem it fit to be part of this meeting tonight. I want to say thank you very much for your efforts, and I know we are going somewhere this time around, and we are going to get it right with this set of the executive that we have this time around. So I want to say thank you very much for your effort and also to congratulate you for making part of this ESCO. And I know God on our side, we are going to get it right. So once again, I want to say thank you very much and God bless you. Somebody should move for adjournment, please.
I, Rebecca Emule, move for adjournment.
Thank you very much, my sister. Seconded by who? Seconded by who? Okay, Mr. Razak Ogumefun. So, with that, I will call on Dr. Mayowa to close us in prayer.
Okay. Okay, we're in prayers. Father, we thank you for tonight. We give you praise because you have helped us this far. First of all, one, thank you for helping us to make it this far. We thank you as an ESCO. We thank you because of our members. Thank you for how far you've helped us to deliberate tonight. We know there are a lot of goodies in our way, in our journey for this year 2023. As we have concluded and we've reached a vital conclusion on this meeting tonight, we pray that you give us the grace. We ask for grace to run with this vision and help us, oh God. We thank you as we go to bed tonight. We go to bed, we wake up tomorrow morning refreshed. And this year is going to be a great year for us. Thank you, Father. In Jesus' name we have prayed. Amen.
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 Amen. Thank you, everybody. God bless you. Thank you for your time. God bless you. I know some people
God
is
bless
very
all
early
of
hour
us.
of the
Oh.
day.
Good
Thank
night.
you so
Oh.
much. God bless you, my sister, for making it.
Thank
Inside
you.
the
Then
waiting you
coordinator,
bring
write
for me
something on the
now.
group. Oh.
Now
Eh?
you go
You
right.
said?
I go right. I will write, yeah.
Uh-huh.
But you also come up with
I beg.
the birthday stuff and the other one, birthday
The
and wedding
baton has been
anniversary.
passed to Dr. Mayowa.
Yes, so
No, what I'm saying is he should welcome us into the new year.
yes, I will do that. I will
Okay,
do
Uh,
that
okay. Coordinator,
so
coordinator, go do now.
before they
let
break.
him
I will
let
do
him
that.
do that before any other person starts writing
Yes, I
anything.
will do that. I will do that. I
Uh,
will definitely do that before they break. Take care. Thank you, sir. God bless you.
All
Minister, be
right.
waiting
Oh, good
carry come.
night.
Thank you.
Ronke,
Bye bye.
Alpha,
From
good morning
Báwo
from
ni?
your hand there.
Àbí o, good
No
morning
be
ni
small thing.
o.
It should be around
very
8
good
Ah,
a.m.
morning.
now.
Good morning.
Mrs. Agbeyin, how are you? You are doing a great
I'm good
job.
though.
I really
Oh,
love
thank
you.
God, my dear. Thank God.
You did. That's a you did it very well. Very, very good. Thank you so much. Mayowa, báwo ni India o?
Ó wá pàjáre.
Báwo ni India
You see,
Mayowa? Everything well okay?
Ó wá pàjáre.
Dr.
Okay.
Marwa
Oh.
is a big
Yes, I'm
man.
with you, sir. Eh?
I
I said
know.
you're a
I
big
know.
man.
We did that big doctor. That
Yeah,
big doctor. Mayowa.
a big man.
Okay.
It's well.
Okay. Bye bye, guys.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
Bye.
good night,
Appreciate
everybody.
you.
Good night.
Bye. Yeah.
Ronke will
Good
talk
night.
later. I will call you maybe in the afternoon. Okay. Baba later thing na. Me is like be waiting you carry come. No tell me say you no carry anything come. Oh.
I just shop and finish.
You no try.
Even if I
No,
bring, I don't want to post that to you. Ebenezer, when you
no
dey come
worry.
Ibadan,
I go let you know, but not
call
now.
me for.
I go let
Okay,
you know.
okay, you still there, Sha, for now.
I see you. I see you. I see you.
Your sister now, you didn't give me feedback about her again.
You
I
don't
think she
deal
just dey
to don't
post
mind.
birthday, post everything.
Make I call this message first so that we no go talk for the recording. I'll call you
Okay,
back.
okay,
I'll call you back. Yeah.
alright,
Yes.
okay.